What do you do when every secret you built an empire on suddenly starts leaking through the prison phone line? Tonight, we follow the money, the tapes, and the whispers that could turn music's two biggest moguls against each other and scorch everything in their path. Beat. Because when survival's on the line, even billion-dollar loyalty has an expiration date. It was May 1st, 2025, 4 days before jury selection, when Sean Diddy Combs shuffled into federal court wearing county issue beige. Judge Aaron Subramanian asked a single question. Had he reviewed the government's offer? Yes, I did, Your Honor. Translation, rejected. He'd rather roll dice on a life sentence than sign what insiders call the SNITCH sheet, paperwork that, according to chatter in the corridors of 500 Pearl Street, demanded testimony about senior partners in his so-called enterprise. One name ricocheted louder than the rest, Sean Carter, aka JAYZ. Sources inside the defense team claim prosecutors dangled a 15-year cap if Diddy mapped the flow of hush money from Bad Boy's LA account straight into Roc Nation shell core. Officially, the U.S. Attorney's Office will neither confirm nor deny, but in hip-hop media, silence reads like smoke from a fresh gun. Before the ink dried on the minute order, blogs exploded. Diddy offered deal to rat on Hov. View counts soared, comment threads melted, and somewhere in a high-rise overlooking the Hudson, Beyoncé's crisis team reportedly red-flagged every mention of the word subpoena. Transition, but a paper deal was just the appetizer. The main course was already rolling in on a chain of hard drives labeled Mansion, West Wing. Long before Blue Ivy had a Grammy, Sean Carter collected criminal headlines, 1999 stabbing plea, civil assault payouts, and a blizzard of rumors that trailed him from Marcy projects to Manhattan penthouses. Most lawsuits fizzled, but one pattern never did. Whenever a competitor faced jail, JAYZ's name showed up in the complaint, then disappeared in the settlement shadows. Flash forward to April 1st, 2025. Florida plaintiff Joseph Manzaro files a civil suit claiming he was drugged and carted to a Miami birthday freak-off in a penis mask, while Diddy's entourage jeered, listed as witnesses JAYZ, Beyoncé, and yes, NBA legend LeBron James. Within 3 weeks, the Carters' lawyers carved their names out of the complaint like surgeons, citing flight records and Instagram timestamps. Yet the gossip refuses to die, especially when you add Cassie's testimony about celebrity drop-ins at Diddy's mansion, and the DOJ quietly grabbing every security cam frame it can subpoena. Jay's camp calls the talk nonsense eroding trust in our justice system. Maybe. But prosecutors don't need trust. They need hard drives. And rumor has it the drives are triple mirrored in Homeland Security's evidence vault. If the plea deal didn't flip Diddy's loyalty, maybe the sound of his own recorded voice would. Cassie Ventura walked into court 8.5 months pregnant, wearing courtroom-approved flats and 20 years of bottled-up terror. Over 2 full days, she detailed a life of luxury jets, mystery pills, and locked doors, a gilded cage where freak-offs ran for days while security guards babysat burner phones. Prosecutors projected photos of bruises down her spine. Defense attorneys countered with gushy love texts and a narrative of consensual swinging. Jurors watched stone-faced. The prosecution's strategy was brutal in its simplicity. Pattern plus power. Show Diddy using money, fame, and sometimes fists to turn private fantasies into crimes that cross state lines. That makes it federal. If they prove that pattern, the RICO count sticks like superglue, and every co-conspirator in the indictment tree gets their name etched next to his. That tree, by the way, lists 16 unindicted co-conspirators. The clerk sealed the list, but reporters with binoculars swear 2 initials look a lot like SC. And that's where the Carter questions begin. 7 days after the rejected plea, a distorted clip hit YouTube. Diddy's unmistakable rasp ordering someone named Jay to get rid of the leftover pizza boxes, recycle the plastic. Alleged code for explicit contraband. The Bureau of Prisons refuses comment. Lawyers yell deep fake. Tech experts split 50-50. But the call ignites a tinderbox theory. Diddy is warning JAYZ that the feds already cracked open the vault, and they both appear on the footage. Suddenly, gossip sites track every FedEx truck near Roc Nation's HQ, hoping to spot a subpoena envelope. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's silence grows louder, and Twitter, or what's left of it, thrives on emoji clues from her stylists. Then, politics caught a ricochet. Attorney Anthony Rico lasted 20 years on Diddy's retainer, until February 21st, when he filed a single-page motion to quit, citing ABA ethics. Translation, he saw something he can't unsee. Days later, powerhouse firm Grubman Shire quietly ends a 2-decade relationship after superstar client Lady Gaga allegedly threatens to walk. Defense insiders whisper about video stills the prosecution turned over in discovery. Frames so radioactive no A-list brand will risk being splashed in the same frame. Publicly, Diddy calls it paperwork reshuffle, but observers note he burned through 3 high-profile litigators in 6 weeks. If the house is on fire, even the firefighters are bolting. Which brings us to the evidence everyone fears the most, the tapes. Remember that glittery ceremony where NYC Mayor Eric Adams handed Diddy the key to the city in summer 2023? Fast forward. Adams finds himself indicted on foreign bribery charges, the first sitting mayor to face a federal rap. Prosecutors never say Combs, but campaign finance sleuths map a $45,000 bundle funneled through a PAIC chaired by a former bad boy executive. The timeline looks ugly. Donation, favor, photo op, then a raid on Diddy's mansion 18 months later. The case against Adams crashes in spring 2025 after the Justice Department mysteriously moves to dismiss, triggering mass resignations. Conspiracy YouTubers instantly solder the story onto the Diddy map. C-suite favors for City Hall, hush contracts for sex parties. No solid proof, yet the optics read like deja vu of the Epstein-Weinstein network. Money buys doors, doors hide rooms, rooms hide cameras, and those cameras, they are why Diddy's defense keeps shrinking. Diddy loved cameras. Former staff say 250 CCTV lenses covered every hallway of his Holmby Hills estate, plus hidden fisheyes in the guest lounge and underground tunnel. The system backed up nightly to a raid array labeled Avalon. When Homeland Security raided both mansions in March 2024, they seized 30 terabytes of footage. Prosecutors haven't aired a single second yet, but a court filing confirms digital video evidence exceeding 22 terabytes under protective order. If even one clip shows a recognizable billionaire facilitating an underage guest or failing to stop it, the fallout nukes more than Bad Boy. Think streaming platforms, halftime shows, board seats, maybe even Grammy bylaws. And if the feds already flagged those frames, the fastest way to shorten Diddy's sentence is to identify every famous face in them. That's leverage money can't buy, and the public can't unwatch. So where does that leave the man once hailed hip-hop's first billionaire, standing on a legal minefield, staring at the same plea he just torched? If jurors convict on any trafficking count, sentencing guidelines start at 40 years. Add the RICO conspiracy, and life without parole snaps into view. At that point, prosecutors can still offer cooperation in exchange for reduced time. Translation, the plea Diddy refused today could return tomorrow, with fewer bargaining chips on his side and far more on theirs. JAYZ's circle insists he's untouchable, rehearsing the mantra, no evidence, no indictment. But subpoenas don't care about image. One signed order, and Hov's entire digital footprint becomes exhibit material. Text logs, jet manifests, private chef, Calendly invites. A single lie under oath becomes perjury, and perjury puts billionaires in orange. So if you're wondering why JAYZ has stayed silent, remember, lawyers speak in sealed chambers, not on timelines. And if the feds hold video receipts, the Carters won't gamble on any narrative, because streaming numbers are nothing next to federal time. This isn't the beginning. It's the reckoning. The playlists you danced to, the brands you trusted, the legends you quoted. Every one of them might stand trial in the court of raw evidence. Keep your notifications on, because the darker it gets for Diddy, the brighter the spotlight burns on everyone who once walked through his doors. And if loyalty truly dies when survival kicks in, watch who reaches for the mic first, because the next voice you hear may be reading names off a sealed indictment. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, because the tapes haven't even started playing.